Did you know that you also have an ESG score? That's right. You do. You do. I do. You do. We all do. And none of us even knew it was happening. Hmm. Kind of like when communism sneaks into your government and all of a sudden, now you're my comrade. But let's look into this a little bit because people are going to say that's a bit extreme. That's a bit much. It's actually not. But let's look into what I'm talking about. Yes, social credit is a thing, not just in China, but here too in the United States. Went to 1080p when you stopped showing her. Well, thank you. Oh, yes, by 2030. Oh, no, my friend. Now, now you already have a credit score. Here we go. So we're going to start with this one. This is the impact investor. How to calculate your individual ESG score. That is right. You have an ESG score. Private companies and banks have been secretly behind the scenes been giving you an ESG score. And that is a compilation of a million different little things that you've been doing that they have been watching. So this goes over a little bit like what is an ESG and also kind of like how it relates to businesses. But they're saying, what are personal ESG scores? Definition and purpose. A personal ESG score evaluates an individual's performance and impact based on three main factors: environmental, social, and governance. As ESG criteria assesses a business's sustainability and ethics, a personal ESG score offers insight into a person's commitment to sustainable practices and responsible decision making. Hmm. Who do you think defines what is responsible decision making? Let me give you a hint. It's not you. The purpose behind personal ESG scores involves promoting more mindful behaviors towards the environment and society. By holding individuals accountable for their actions, these scores encourage better choices and habits. Encourage or force? I'm going to go with force, leading to a positive change on a larger scale. Since this is a relatively new concept, no, it's not. Here in the US, it is, but it's not. The current level of transparency is a bit murky. Yeah, I would say that considering nobody even knew about it. In many cases, people are generally unaware they even have an ESG score. For example, consumers who have accounts with Merrill Lynch will be able to view their score, whatever they may be. Lenders will use the system to choose who they extend services or credit. That's right. Lenders can now look at your ESG score and use that in determining whether or not they want to give you credit. The main reason is that companies, including lenders, are graded according to the ESG standards. So, part of the reason why I wanted to watch that hearing, even though it was a year ago, is because what they were talking about then has now bled into general society. The business and prosperity depend directly on their hiring practices, gender diversity, social and environmental impact, and other ESG factors. And they must prove their case. They must also show that their clients meet the standards they are being graded. So it is no longer just the companies. No longer just the companies. Um, Okay, so the connection to ESG and investing, we're going to skip ahead a little bit. Um, Assessing personal ESG scores, rating agencies, and tools. To assess your personal ESG score, you can turn to various rating agencies and tools that specialize in evaluating individual environmental, social, and governance risks and impacts. These entities focus on offering comprehensive insights into your ESG related activities, credit reports, and public reports. As a result, investors and organizations can better understand your risk profile and commitment to sustainable practices. So your commitment to sustainable practices is now going to be a factor in obtaining a loan, let's say. The evaluation process. During the assessment, your personal ESG score is calculated based on three main factors: environmental, social, and governance. Your purchase history, sales history, public records, such as your credit report, are considered to gauge the impact on your environment and society. This helps highlight areas where you can improve your ESG performance or showcase your dedication to sustainable and ethical practices. Environmental. So they kind of give you a brief rundown of what each of these are. This aspect examines your carbon footprint, energy consumption, and waste management practices. Two, social, charitable contributions, community engagement, and employment practices are assessed here. So where you work is a part of your grade. Governance. See, because where you work tells them whether or not are you working for a company with sustainable practices. And if you're not working for a company with sustainable practices, that says something about you. Therefore, like forcing the person to go work for companies with sustainable practices, therefore forcing companies to have sustainable practices. Do you see the cycle that they do here? How they force this all to happen very quietly and behind the scenes. But that's exactly what they're doing. And governance. This component considers your ethical behavior, i.e., do you buy a gun? Decision making, transparency, and regulation adherence. Key issues for consideration: ESG rating, understanding your criteria and methodology rating agencies use to evaluate your performance. This helps you address potential gaps in your sustainability efforts. Your scores, familiarize yourself with the range of scores and ratings, as this will provide context where you stand compared to others. That's right. Individuality and independence is no longer a value in the United States of America. No, no. You need to compare yourself to others. Investors. Keep in mind that investors increasingly consider personal ESG scores when making investment decisions. Displaying a commitment to sustainability can lead to greater trust from investors. Rating agency. Choose a reputable rating agency with expertise in environmental, social, and governance assessments. This will ensure that your ESG evaluation is accurate and reliable, except that it's already happening without you even knowing about it. Regularly update your ESG related activities and information to reflect your sustainability efforts accurately. In other words, tell the government what you're doing so they know at all times what you are up to. Again, independence, no longer there. Be transparent about your ESG performance and share your progress with relevant stakeholders to demonstrate your dedication to sustainable practices. Sounding like communism yet? Okay, so let's go down a little bit. What is my ESG score? There are a few different places you can check to find your score. If you hold an account at a major firm, such as Merrill Lynch, your personal ESG score will be listed on your account with your other personal details. You can also check any of the main ESG monitoring company websites. Usually, you must create an account or contact them directly to get information regarding your score, because God forbid it be your score. If you're not an investor or you don't have a big financial account, it can be difficult to get your score from traditional places. However, you can calculate your score to understand how companies view you sustainably. Key components of personal ESG scores: environmental factors. So these are the three factors. They're going to get into them in just a little more detail. Your personal ESG score starts with environmental factors. These factors illustrate how your actions contribute to climate change and environmental degradation. A major aspect to consider your company's carbon emissions and footprints, which encompasses your energy consumption habits, transportation choices, and consumption of goods with high environmental impact, such as meat or fossil fuels. Do you eat beef? Do you have a car that runs on gas? Sorry, guys. You can work on reducing your carbon footprint by using energy efficient appliances and light bulbs, incorporating renewable energy sources into your home, purchasing locally produced and sustainable goods, opting for public transportation, or using electric or hybrid vehicles. Note, every single one of these things costs more than the alternate version of them, of the what do you want to call them, non-sustainable version of them. Social factors play an essential role in your personal ESG score. This category evaluates how you contribute to societal well being through your actions, behavior, and choices. Key aspects include diversity. Embrace and support diversity in your personal and professional relationships. Are you dating a white Christian? Hmm. Human rights. Be aware of your impact on the well being of others and seek to promote human rights through responsible consumer choices, i.e., buying fair trade. Read more money and participate in charitable activities and community engagement. Get involved in local initiatives geared towards improving the quality of your life, of life in your community, excuse me, such as volunteering, supporting local businesses, or attending public meetings. And now we get down to governance factors are crucial components of your personal ESG score. But what are they? They involve assessing your commitment to ethical practices, transparency, and fairness in your personal and professional life. Transparency, that word really bothers me because how do I put this? My life is none of the government's fucking business. There's your transparency. Consider the following aspects to improve your governance score. Decision making. Practice deliberate and transparent decision making processes in both your personal and professional settings. Ethical behavior. Maintain integrity and honesty in all your actions, avoiding conflicts of interest and embracing accountability. I am honestly telling you, federal government, that my life is none of your fucking business. Compliance. Adhere to relevant laws, regulations, and industry standards that govern your personal and professional activities. By considering these environmental, social, and governance factors, you can better understand and work towards improving your ESG score. Remember that your actions, however small, play a part in building a more sustainable and equitable world. Hunger Games, anyone? Does that not just sound like something that would be in the Hunger Games? Um, this goes into how to calculate these things, assessing personal ESG scores, rating agencies and tools, the evaluation process, key issues for consideration. Let's see. And application. Challenges and criticisms of personal ESG scores. Greenwashing. Greenwashing is a significant challenge in the world of ESG scores. It occurs when companies or individuals intentionally exaggerate their positive environmental, social, or governance practices to appear more responsible than they truly are. As an investor, you must be cautious about relying solely on ESG scores, as they may not always reflect accurate and comprehensive information. Oh, Lord. Okay. Are ESG scores used by financial institutions? Yes. Yes. Let me repeat. Yes. ESG scores are increasingly being used by financial institutions when assessing investment opportunities or risk management. They use these scores to align their investment portfolios with their values or comply with regulatory requirements. So again, this is where we get into the cycle. They are going to be required under regulations to have, sustainable green, let's just say, to lump it all together, practices, including their clients, which means that we, if we want to have, say, a loan from the bank, need to also comply to those regulations, and we have to use other companies and or work for companies that also comply with those regulations. So even if those companies aren't necessarily falling under those regulations, in this very subversive, underhanded way, they've created this cycle where everybody and everything has to comply. um yeah, what do you guys think of this? How do you find it, the score? Let me see if it gives a like an app or something. Let me see if it says what. I mean, like I said, if you have Merrill Lynch, you should be able to look for it. Let me see if it gives you any options as to who you can go to find out. It just says you can turn to various rating agencies. I don't know other than let's see, ESG rating agency. Let's see. The 9 best ESG rating agencies. Who gets the grade? Does this do personal ESG rating agents? Rating Dun and Bradstreet. That's for companies, company level. Sustainalytics. That's a terrible name. ESG risk ratings. Let's see. As a subsidiary of Morningstar, one of the largest stock market data providers in the world. Uh, it doesn't say if it says they're one of the top firms in reporting and data for ESGs. It doesn't say if they just do companies or if they also do personal. So that might be one. Sustainalytics. Bloomberg. Human capital. Maybe human capital and shareholders' rights. FTSE Russell's ESG ratings. I think that is more company. Provides company, country, and fund ratings, as well as data and analysis across the full range of sustainable investments. S&P Global. I'm not sure. You might have to just do a search on how to find your organizations on how to find it. Like they said, it might be difficult unless you have unless you're a client of some of these bigger agencies. But let me see. They had where you can kind of evaluate your own. Let me see if I can find the link. Um, yeah, Merrill Lynch. You and sustainability. Is this where you can? This is just economic, three E models, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I'm not seeing it. I would say just see if you can do a search probably where you can do that and look for it. Chris Martin says, I think I'm going to buy an electric minivan and wear a nice dress when I go pick up my Soylent groceries. Perfect. You should be able to get a loan, no problemo. Just make sure that the company that you work for is using green measures to put out fires, whatever that might be. uh, Take your net worth, subtract your social security number, voila. Probably sounds about right. Yeah. Now, who runs these companies and who's connected? That is accurate. Let's see. JBW says, "Is this the same thing that will they limit how much meat you can buy based on your score?" I don't know where they can limit how much meat you can buy. I don't know. I'm not sure. They're not kind of outwardly talking about it that much yet. But hold on, I have another. Oh shoot, I do want to keep doing that. I have another one that I want to show you. Another article. And let's see if they say anything different. So this is Diginex. All you need to know about your personal ESG score. Are you a company manager, entrepreneur, or leader? And want to get better picture of targeted investors, clients, or partners? Perusing their credit rating might not be enough. In addition, you need to get the right personal ESG score of the subject to make the right decision. A personal ESG score works like a credit score, but it differs fundamentally because it rates an individual's ESG risks. In this post, we dig deeper into these crucial metrics. What is it? We already know. How do you calculate? Let's see. Maybe this one will tell us better. The process of calculating a personal ESG score works like that of a company rating. However, the scale of assessment or data involved to determine the score is lower compared to that of a business. Here are some of the things that companies factor in when calculating. Energy choice. What type of energy does your subject use? If he, she uses fossil fuels at home, they didn't have them in there, or they. If he, she, they uses fossil fuels at home and in other activities, the personal ESG score will be pretty low. However, people who use clean energy choices, such as solar power and wind energy, can help boost their score. Transportation habits. The transportation habits of a person also come in handy in defining how sustainable his or her life is. For example, you might want to determine if the person travels to and from work daily using a personal car or public means when calculating his or her score. What about weekend travels? Does the person under review travel abroad often or mainly towards local destinations? Environmental impacts on the subject's job. This is another important aspect when determining a personal ESG score of an investor. If the person's work has a negative ESG impact, the personal ESG score will be low. See, again, therefore, the company you work for also affects your personal ESG score. For example, a person with a business that is always in conflict with the law for poor waste disposal or violating human labor regulations will get a very poor score. However, people who are committed to helping improve the environment and supporting communities should be rewarded. The rest of you guys are pieces of shit. For example, does the person under consideration support local or international initiatives for biodiversity restoration? Can he or she demonstrate programs initiated to empower communities? Investing in investment. A person's investments can also help map his or her ESG score. Do you have stocks in fossil fuels? Terrible. Terrible. And your carbon footprint. Work with, oh, there you go. You can look at diginex.com. Looks like they can help to make your personal ESG ratings accurate. Did you know that the main items that are factored in calculating a personal ESG score? There is one more thing: getting the right ESG sustainability software. Of course. This is a program that allows you to pull together all the ESG parameters and determine the score with a high degree of accuracy. At Diginex.com, we have all the apps that you might need for the accurate calculation of your shitty score. Top apps such as Diginex ESG and Diginex Lumen allow you to accurately track the subject activities and calculation of your personal imprisonment score. We also have the expertise you might need to craft the right strategies for ESG assessment and scoring. No matter what your ESG management needs are, know that Communix can help. Talk to one of our comrades on the contact page for more assistance. Isn't that lovely? Well, there you go. Diginex can help you. Hey, I employ ethically sourced local employees. I have no doubt. What is restoration? That is when you have a really shitty ESG score. So let's say, wild and crazy, you drive a car that runs only on gas. Your house is run by oil heat. You work at a company that isn't great with sustainable practices. You buy a gun. You buy pillows from the dude on TV, the pillow guy, the My Pillow guy who looks like a youth pastor because he got a cross hanging out. You're dating a white Christian girl. You, my friend, probably have an ESG score that is terrible. So you need to restore your ESG score so that you can get a loan. Yeah. They want to segment us. Feed me, Seymour, says Algos. Yes. Yes. Also, I should probably mention by watching shows such as this, your score is now in the crapper. Uh, sorry, everyone. My employer relies on people making larger carbon footprints. True. True, true, true. No elected official will help us. Honestly, it's up to us to grind this silliness down to the level it should be. Just say no. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But Snoop says, hope there is someone working to repeal this crap. You know what? There might be. There are a couple of really good people in Congress who I do believe, like Nancy Mace. I believe, she truly is trying to fight and help the people, but there's only so many of them. That's the problem. No one person in Congress can make a really big difference. You need to have a group working together with you in order to pass legislation. So that's the difficult part. Uh, ESG score plummets every time you eat beans. Breaking news. Boop, 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 boop. Yes, you too can contribute to methane in the environment. We're screwed. Truth. True, true, true. So, had you guys known that you have an ESG or AKA a social credit score? Had anybody? Oh, XJ, that score just plummeted. Plummeted. You're now negative 20. I don't know what the scores go by, but a group working together. You mean like a party? I think he means like we the people kind of situation. That's what I'm going with. That's where I'm taking that one. Uh, yeah, it's terrible, guys. It is absolutely terrible. And I'd never heard of this. I had never heard that. I mean, I'd heard of ESG scores for companies. Um, maga. Snoop is now at negative 40. Um, but did you know that you have a personal ESG score? And does it seem right to you that companies can do this behind your back without you knowing? And also, where are they getting the information from? I mean, granted, if it's financial institutions, they're clearly combing through your purchases. But where are they getting the rest? Maybe they're looking to see what utilities you're paying, and they must be getting information from social media somehow. Is there such a thing as privacy anymore? Yep. I really wish we could check everyone's score in chat and award the lowest scores. That would be me. I host the show. I'd be the lowest right here. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Yeah. Info is likely coming from China. Probably. China, probably in cahoots. Well, Biden did talk to Xi again, so he's like, "Yay, Xi Jinping, tell me, now that we're getting these scores, what are we gonna do with them?" Yeah, I'm sure they're working together on this one because he probably is totally digging the government over there. American privacy went away with the Patriot Act. Yeah. Is anyone else just as pissed off as me at the name of that one? How many honest companies are left in this country? I'm gonna go with zero. Zero. The cookies track us as we use the computer. Yep. Zero plastic in my life. Cash or check. That's good. That is smart. Was the Oyster Bunny there too? Yes. It was Joey Biden, Xi Jinping, and the Oyster Bunny. They got together. Yes, yes. Yeah. So there it is, my friends. We are one step closer to the communist states of America. We gonna let that happen? It's already happening. And, I really enjoy putting the hammer and sickle up for AOC and Cory Bush, but the reality is they are socialists. They have no qualms in admitting outright that they are socialists, and yet they continue to be reelected. We have a problem in this company, or in this company. Well, it is a company in this country. We need to reclaim the republic. Hashtag reclaim the republic and bring it back to what it used to be. Jamie Raskin was talking about, well, this isn't a free market, and that, by doing this, by not allowing, by not forcing these companies to give us this information, that's not a free market. They are twisting everything they're telling you and making it sound like they're doing these things for the good of the people. Anytime they're telling you they're doing something for the good of the people, they're not. It's opposite day in their world all the time, every day, opposite day. Judge, jury each other with this and segregate. Yeah. I mean, it really it is. Yeah. I don't think they will allow it to be called the Communist States of America. Too close to CSA, wrong kind of red flags. United Communists of America, maybe? The U what would that be? The UCA? Is there anything UCA? Zero credit score, who cares? We're gonna be like the, what was that movie? The Divergent? Where they have the kind of the people that are like the deplorables. I don't know if they were called the deplorables, I think they might have been, or the un can't remember, but it's the people that didn't fit into any of the factions. Did anybody else watch those movies? They're pretty good. I liked them. But that's sort of what we're headed towards, I think, if we don't put our foot down. And I don't know what that's gonna take, but it's not gonna be pretty. It's not gonna be pretty. Undesirables. Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Rebellion 1776, you should do a video review of 1776 by Playboy the Beast, or not, just seems fitting. I've never seen it. I'll go check it out. Playboy the Beast. Should I be scared of it? But I'll go check it out and we'll see what they say. uh, well, if it's 1776, it's got to be fairly good, right? Intergalactic Federation of Anglers. There we go. There we go. Sounds very good. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for joining me. Keep your credit scores, your social credit scores high in the air. Oh, he was a J6 political prisoner? Oh, I'll definitely go watch it. It's just called 1776 or Playboy the Beast. I'll go look it up. Playboy the Beast. Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely watch that. I find that absolutely fascinating. At least my credit score is higher than Nancy's blood alcohol content. You must have a very high credit score then. Very high. Like, very high. But, all right, guys. And yeah, I will definitely go check that out. R3D, that sounds really fun. And we are looking for people to interview. So if anybody has any suggestions, please feel free to either email me, put them in the comments, probably down below under the video is the best place for me to see them. Yeah, 108 proof for real. Uh, so any comments or any suggestions would be great. And because I do want to start getting back into doing some interviews, I think that would be a lot of fun. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. You know what? There's nothing we can do about these social credit scores right now unless you really want to go through all of that, which I don't, because you know what that then does? It turns you into the person they want you to be. So be you, stay independent, don't give in, reclaim the republic, people. And enjoy the updated picture of Eggy, the patriotic chicken, on the outro, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.
Scattering leaves, the days go, dragging us along like ragdolls. Make these moments move faster. It's our latest disaster. There's no place I'd rather be anyway. This will do for a while. Gather your thoughts so we can run away from it all and ease our minds. We'll try to make it all matter, pave the way for the shattering of youth. Promise our real lives not far behind. Leave nothing to chance and we will not find. Still I'd like to be here for a while. Try to make it all matter, pave the way for the shattering of youth. Promise our real lives not far behind. Leave nothing to chance and we will not find. Still I'd like to be here for a while. Still I'd like to be here for a while. Scattering leaves, the days go, dragging us along.